morning, everyone, and welcome to SEDAT HR conference organized by SEDAT Consults. This is our maiden HR conference under the theme Transforming HR, Innovation, Technology, and the Future Trend. You may be wondering what to expect. We are looking at networking, we are looking at case studies, we are looking at group discussions, and we are looking at equipping ourselves to understand the changing trends in technology and as HR practitioners to embrace technology in our operation. So you are welcome, feel free, and enjoy the conference. My name is Eben, and I'm going to be your host for today. Thank you.
Hi, I am 𝐀𝐝𝐦𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐨. I'm a lecturer at the 𝐀𝐝𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐢𝐬𝐢 School of Business. I am excited to be part of this conference. My expectation in this conference is to also look for new research areas. As an academic, of course, I'm interested in exploring some new areas of research.
It is with great pleasure that I stand before you today to provide an overview of this conference, Transforming HR, Innovation, Technology, and Future Trends. This theme is not just a collection of words, it's a powerful call to action that underscores the dynamic nature of HR profession and the world of work.
In this dynamic landscape of human resources, we have gathered here together to explore the most pressing trends, challenges, and the opportunities. We know that HR has evolved, and we also know that technology has enabled us to evolve. And so if we don't embrace technology, it's going to be very difficult for us.
The depth of human resources is unequivocally the foundation for both individual success and collective national progress.
So I just want to take this whole myth about AI taking HR's job away and say AI is going to make everybody, not HR, do their work better.
If we have the technical know-how, managerial know-how, and the personality know-how to be able to manage the people who form the most important asset in the organization, optimizing their talent to give us the results, then we deserve to be the number one. And that's where we should be thinking of.
And as HR professionals, the EM thing is what we need to embrace, because we have opportunity right from recruitment to firing, to illustrate all these mindsets that we are talking about. Ability to be able to adjust in response to changing situations. That is the hallmark of entrepreneurs.
Now, in trying to create a workplace that actually aims at bringing out the full potential in people, it is very important to note that there is a way we go about it. It involves every one of you in the organization being committed to that process. You cannot have a bunch of yes sayers in the organization. You will fail. I tell you on authority, you will fail.
I'm Deborah Nanaya Apre from BM Properties, and then I came for this conference with the expectation to learn a lot. And trust me, it has been nothing short of insightful and inspiring and educative. I am really glad I came, and I've learned a lot. My take home from this conference is that as an HR practitioner or professional, you should understand the business of the business you are into, else you have no business being in the business.
I'm Manaf Abubakar, and today I attended the SEDAT HR conference 2023 as an accounting and finance student who have had a bit of HR background, I feel that this is a stepstone for me to begin to learn further. It has also afforded me the opportunity to meet industry players, to be able to get in touch with them, to see how best I can boost my career prospects.
My name is Salamatu Zakaria. I am the head of Human Resources at Puma Rural Bank Limited. This is the first time I'm experiencing such conference, and I'm telling you that I'm having a great time. The experience has been great. I'm looking forward for more of such programs in the future. Thank you.
I mean, judging from the various speakers, the discussions and whatnot, by far, I'm so much excited, and it's nothing short of my expectations.
My name is 𝐀𝐝𝐦𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐨. I'm the president of SHRM Forum Ghana. I'm here in Kumasi, and I'm happy I'm part of this conference. And the theme is transforming HR with technology, and I think for me it's very important.
So my name is 𝐀𝐝𝐦𝐬𝐬𝐢𝐨, Country Manager for BTL Marketing Ghana and the founder of HR Network Africa. So for me, I think this conference comes at a very timely moment where we're actually transitioning HR from the transactional manager to the strategic manager, and technology being the anchor on which we actually want to leverage and push things. I think that the theme couldn't have been any better than what was chosen.
My name is Patricia Abnakisi. I'm the CEO of SEDAT Consult Limited, the organizers of the SEDAT HR conference. I'm so happy that we are having this conference, especially in Kumasi. And as SEDAT Consult as a company, we are committed to knowledge sharing, creating opportunity for networking, and ensuring that people in the HR profession advance in their careers. That is why we put together this conference, to give the opportunity to our HR practitioners to first of all learn about the new trends in the HR space, learn about how we can be innovative and creative in ensuring that we are impacting the organization. A lot of the times, HRs are seen as cost centers, but we want to change the narrative. And if we can do that, we need to be very creative. We need to also ensure that we are leveraging on technology to be able to impact or determine or demonstrate how we are contributing to the bottom line. And that is why the theme for this conference, Transforming HR, Innovation, Technology, and Future Trends, is very relevant.
Good evening and welcome. Today we are taking our discussion on the health and safety at work, workplace health and safety. It is important that we discuss this because it means our life. What we need to know about health and safety is that health and safety is not just health and safety we talk about. It comes with so much challenges, and we encounter these challenges, and in my career in health and safety, I have faced these challenges. And what has it made me to learn is that I've come to see the difference between process safety and personnel safety. In process safety, I've not really faced most of a challenge because the processes are in place, and it deals with equipment criticality. But in personnel safety, and that's where the real challenge is, where you have to deal with people's attitude and behavior towards health and safety, and that's what we have to talk about and let people comply. Compliance is not something that they were born with, so they need to learn this new way of working out their activities daily in order to get the daily bread. So embracing health and safety, people's attitude have been so much of a challenge, but we have not relent in doing this. Well, the successful health and safety initiative and intervention that I've implemented has helped me to curtail most of the situations I see in my workplaces. For example, we have to put the policies in place that every workplace, this is the health and safety policy we need to work with. And the policy would tell you that we have hazards and risk that will be clearly defined through the risk assessment processes. And then we need to do training to back up with those policies. And then we get the top management commitment. So with the top management commitment, we are assured that we can have our wings enough to fly to wherever we want to take our implementations to. So top management is really, commitment is really required in health and safety. And that should be the winning point for everyone who wants to establish health and safety in their workplaces. If you don't get the management buy-in or top management buy-in, definitely it will be so much of a struggle in implementing health and safety in the workplace. One thing people may not really know is that the government of Ghana have the Labour Act in place, and the Labour Act really speak beautifully to health and safety. And if you look at the Labour Act of 2003, Act 651, there are different parts in this Labour Act. You see the part that talks about public employment centers and private employment agencies, employment of young persons. But I really catch on our discussion today is the aspects that has to do with occupational health and safety. That is part 15 of the Labour Act 2003 as 651. The Labour Act addresses occupational health and safety and environment, which speaks on different sections, like section 118, section 119, section 120 is of a specific importance to occupational health and safety and environment, because section 118 talks about general health and safety conditions in the workplace. What should the employer know? Now, I want to have a read on this so that we can really understand that employers have a duty of care to ensure that their workplace is in good condition. And then the government is really looking out to ensure that this is really implemented. Now, section 118, subsection 1 says that it's a duty of an employer to ensure that every worker employed by him or her works under satisfactory, safe, and healthy conditions. Please, as I'm reading on this act, this Labour Act, reflect on your work environment to see if this is really the case. And if it's not, you have a duty of care to call to direct your employer to look at this section and see how they can improve their workplace. Now, the subsection 2 says, without limiting the scope of subsection 1, an employer shall A, provide and maintain at the workplace plans and system of work that are safe and without risk of health. Now, without risk to the health of the persons who are using the plant and the system. And the workplace has to be safe and free. Look back, reflect back on your workplace. Is it free? Is it safe? Section B says, ensure the safety and absence of risk to health in connection with use, handling, storage, transport of articles and substance. Now, when we talk about articles and substance, people would feel, okay, what is articles? What is substance? I tell you, what this place is defining is dangerous goods. We have over 3,000 dangerous goods, chemical and substances that are everywhere in our environment. Over 3,000 of them. These chemical and substances, or chemicals that are in every workplace, and they find themselves maybe in your workplace. You may have one of them, and they are dangerous goods. Every chemical has a safety data sheet. A safety data sheet covers every chemical, and every chemical has 16 divisions in the safety data sheet that tells you how you can handle, how you can store, the characteristic, the hazardous condition of this, how you can transport it. If there is any release of this chemical, what can you do? First aid measures, the PPEs you need to use. But I tell you, many of the chemicals used in the workplaces today, in the factories today, in manufacturing sectors today, they throw away the safety data sheet and go ahead to use the chemical if it meets their specification of what they want to do with their production activities. So they move ahead. But the Labor Act of Ghana says that employers should ensure the safety and absence of risks to health in connection with use, handling, storage, and transport of articles and substance. Hardly is only in the minds that I've heard that before any articles and substance, any dangerous goods come to them, they would have the safety data sheet and train all the personnel on the use of that chemical. But apart from that, hardly you see people providing training based on the safety data sheet. And I tell you, before you be able to train somebody, you must be a trainer. People are not aware of dangerous goods in their workplace. So they embrace it, they use it in their production processes, and they are not aware. Many years after they leave their workplaces, they get infected with some cancerous diseases that would affect them throughout their life for how much they have earned. Maybe not enough to be able to care for them after their exposure to these chemicals. Now, the C part says that provide the necessary information, instruction, training, supervision, having regards to the age, literacy level, and other circumstances of the worker to ensure, so far as is reasonably practical, the health and safety at work of those workers engaged in particular work. Take steps to prevent contamination, that's subsection D. Take steps to prevent contamination of the workplace by and protect the workers from toxic gases, noxious substances, vapors, dust, fumes, mist, and other substances or materials likely to cause risks to safety and health. I tell you, if all these provisions made by the government of Ghana is implemented in all workplaces, it will be a heaven for so many to flock in. But we have people in so many workplaces who are exposed. And the after effects of this, they are not able to manage because whatever they earn, whatever their pension, will not be able to care for the after effects of this. How about providing firefighting systems, suitable firefighting systems, protective equipment? It is there in the E subsection of subsection 2. Section E of it speaks about the provision of personal protective equipment. How about provision of suitable washrooms and toilet facility? It is all there. Now, this is a safety concern because if people have knowledge of it, they would be aware that their workplace needs to be safe, and they would be aware that they have, as an employer, a duty of care to ensure that the people who are working under them are safe. And as an employee, this one really is a touching point. If you look at subsection or section 119, subsection 1. Now, if you find out that you are exposed to imminent hazard, it's really addressed in that Labor Act. When a worker finds himself or herself in a situation at the workplace which she or he has reasonable cause to believe the presence or believed to present an imminent and serious danger to his or her life, safety, or health, the worker shall immediately report this fact to his or her immediate supervisor and remove himself or herself from the situation. Now, the last section of this paragraph says that to remove yourself from the situation. Is that the case? Today, in many workplaces, if you try that, you are fired immediately. But should that be the case? If I realize that this thing I'm having with these articles and substance, which is dangerous, is exposing me, and this is the hazardous condition. Now, first of all, picking up a chemical. Every chemical has the global harmonized system, the 9 pictograms that globally, people should know that I'm picking up a chemical, whether it's flammable, whether it's toxic, whatever hazard condition are present in that chemical is seen there, whether it's environmentally friendly or to cause damage to the environment. So if I report that this is harmful to me, to my health, to my supervisor, I'm expecting my supervisor to take up the matter and then discuss with management how they can control or minimize the workers' exposure to this chemical. But in many cases, people are threatened and bullied to go back to work and use what the management has provided. You don't know more than the management. And that has been the case in so many workplaces today. Now, the interesting part about it is that subsection 2 says, an employer shall not dismiss or terminate the employment of a worker or withhold any remuneration of a worker who has removed himself or herself from a work situation which the worker has reasons to believe present imminent or serious danger to his or her life, safety, or health. This is it. So you cannot fire anybody. But how many of the HR or human resource persons would want to stand to defend the worker who has been exposed based on what the government has provided? And this is a law that should be applicable to all workplaces, no matter whether it's a small scale, medium scale, large scale production. This is what the Labor Act says. As far as our health and safety is at risk, steps we need to take in order to ensure that we are safe. But companies today, how can they balance productivity and maintain a high standard of safety? Now, it's not easy. Truthfully and honestly speaking, to say I want to have a good safety management system, I must be able to have a good production, to make a good sales, to be able to have the money to drive safety management system. That's the fact, and that's what we need to appreciate. But let's not forget something. There was an article I've been working with, and it's called Your Safety, Your Production Target. In this article, I've had so many episodes which I've spoken to people, I've addressed many audiences based on different things that they may be exposed to. I just will not speak so much about it. But the first part I talked about is that they are talking about your safety and your production target. People are very much interested because the drive of the management, the drive of the directors, their supervisors, their team leaders is that, hey, you need to meet up this particular target of production. You need to meet up this target in sales. In doing those things, which are fine, they bring food to the table, but let's not forget our attitude and behavior. The attitude and behaviors we need to avoid, which is detrimental to our health and safety. And their attitude and behavior we need to bring on board to keep. If I know that this article and substance is going to cause harm to myself and to my co-worker, my colleague, will I not be bold enough to tell management that this thing we see, management need to put a system in place to properly handle them? But people will just give a blind eye to it. People will take all sort of shortcuts in order to meet up their production target. And that is what people do in many workplaces, because they value their production target against their safety. I've also had in this episode to discuss with them on incident pyramid. If the minor things that are not reported and brought to the attention of the management so that management will address it, the pyramid will go up higher and higher to have first aid cases. We have the unsafe acts and the unsafe conditions that should be reported. If they are not reported, before you know, we have near misses, we have injuries, we have minor, either major or minor, the one that will lead to disability, and then we have growing into fatality. I've also had opportunity to discuss, based on this, your safety, your production target, on the aspect of bullying in the workplace. Bullying in the workplace subjects people, subjects workers to a system that they are forced to work under hazardous conditions. And even if they have injury, their supervisor will tell you, hey, get the plaster and shut that thing and continue your production. We have a target to meet. Our target to meet, detrimental to the health of this person. And this person said, hey, tomorrow I can't come to work because of this injury I had. I'm going to the hospital. You call the person a lazy person. You've seen that in so many workplaces. And that has been a trend. But the Labour Act of Ghana has spelled it nicely for all of us to be able to embrace and implement in our workplaces so that people will be free from any hazard. If there is, we cannot take all, you cannot say there's a zero risk, but what we can, the residual one that we can work with, that will not cause so much harm to people, that we can manage, then we have to address all of them. Sadly, so many workplaces don't have a risk assessment, and it's bad. So they continue to carry out their work and getting themselves exposed to conditions that are not favorable. But how can leadership play a role in fostering a culture of safety within an organization? I tell people, if you want to build a good safety system, go to ISO 45001, 2018. It may not be, apple for apple, but it should mirror what you want to do. Because in that ISO 45000, there is a clause 5 addresses leadership commitment. It starts with talking about how should top management demonstrate their commitment in respecting occupational health and safety management system. If top management are not committed, no matter what you write, no matter policies you bring on board, they'll say, hey, this guy wants to waste our money. He wants to waste our time. But that should not be the case. If you have a good point, a good fact to discuss with management and get their buy-in into what you want to do. So management need to be committed. They need to take responsibility and accountability for the prevention of work-related injuries and ill health in the workplace. They first of all do this by giving out policies. The policies they will sign on, that I'm committed to ensuring that everybody who comes into this workplace, all the hazards and risks, we are going to ensure that we identify them, report them, manage them so that people will not be exposed. If management are not committed, they will not provide what you need to be able to run your health and safety. So management commitment is very, very important. Management commitment will also see the need of integrating occupational health and safety in the business practices. Because if management are not committed, they will tell you are wasting their time. They have their production target. But their commitment, they'll be able to bring resources on board. They'll be able to communicate the importance of effective health and safety management system. They'll be able to direct and support workers who wants to effectively bring their input in health and safety management system. And they will see the need of continual improvement. Because we said, today, we have so many technologies coming in to assist health and safety management system in the workplaces. And everything about health and safety is about spending. Implementation of health and safety has to do with spending. Even buying PPE, the right PPE for people in the workplace, you have to spend money. And where will the money, the approval come from? From top management approvals. So if they are not committed, they will not give the support. And then health and safety will be driving on a very, very, on a wheels that does not have any grease. So that is going to be a very difficult thing for implementation of health and safety in the workplace. So, supporting relevant management roles is the top management's responsibility. Developing and promoting proper health and safety culture is the top management responsibility. They have to do it. Incident has occurred. Would they see the need of reporting or doing an investigation so as to remove the hazard from the workplace, taking the hazard out of production? top management needs to be committed, and the commitment of top management should be seen in everything they are doing in order to ensure that the workplace is safe. So I would say and emphatically mention the fact that top management commitment is very critical in every workplaces. Like I mentioned earlier, yes, so many technologies are supporting health and safety today. So please, let's not look at our workplace as just a workplace that is being wired. I mean, instrumentation is in many processes is the key, and that's why we have process safety management. So process safety management takes care of the technology in the workplaces. So if it's a process environment, let the environment, the workplace has to be run in a process system. You're having your emergency shutdown system. If it's in a gas plant, you'll be looking at the pressure relief valves. And if it's in the server room, we should be looking at installing of FM200 automatic fire suppression system. This is what technology has helped many to achieve in their workplaces as respects process health and safety management system. But sad to say, many have some common misconceptions about health and safety in their workplaces. They'll tell you health and safety is a waste of time. It's a waste of time, a waste of resources. I don't like speaking about this experience, but it's for a fact that this is what happened. On a good day, a young man reported to work and said, oh, this health and safety thing, they were having a toolbox meeting in the construction side. The guy said, no, it's a waste of time for me. You guys are talking too much. And as they were holding that toolbox talk, they were mounting a silo in a flour mill. So he went on high, pick up his harness, going up there, and he did not clamp the harness well. He started working. As the toolbox meeting was going on, a big shout was heard from the top as he was falling over 15 meters high to the floor. And he was coming down. Each of his body parts were hitting the scaffold and he was descending to the floor. Recently, I had opportunity to capture an incident via CCTV. These guys, when they come to when they're on day shift, you see them, they dress very nicely, they put on their PPEs, they do the right thing, but put these same guys on a night shift. Oh, their safety boots, they throw it away. They do all manners of hazard, they expose themselves to all manners of things, and that was picked up during their night duty. Now, this is what happened. One of the guys who claimed to be following safety procedures at night, he removed his safety boot and used a Crocs. And he was operating an electric pallet truck at night. While he was moving it forward and backward, reversing, doing all kinds of maneuvering, carrying a 1,000 kg, and the electric pallet truck itself is 1,300 kg. So movement now the load and the equipment, it's 2,300 kg. So maneuvering it through, how he was able to, I don't know how he reversed the electric pallet truck, now carrying 2,300 kg, moving towards his body. He maneuvered it to the side, and the electric pallet truck ran through his leg and cut off his toe immediately because he wasn't using the right PPE, a safety boot which was assigned to him. And the safety boot that was assigned to him, the company said they paid over 600 Ghana cedis to buy that safety boot for him. But he did not use it. And he's been over 3 months away from the house. That's people in their workplace. So people who say safety is a waste of time would also waste their time, because when they expose themselves to a condition that will keep them away from work, they will not be able to work. And they will lose their resources. Many people will say that safety is a burden to their production target. So doing these things safely, carrying this bag this way, doing manual handling this particular way, it's a waste of time. Let me just do this the way I have been doing it in the past. That's fine. But you're exposing yourself, you're putting yourself in harm's way. So they would say, okay, let me, if I use my discretion, the process can function. We don't need health and safety in our workplace. Please, it is not true. It is not true. Health and safety standards are living standards and have saved a lot of lives. And health and safety standards are continual improvement. So, please, we should not in any way overlook health and safety standards, right? But we've seen that many workplaces, what is most overlooked in health and safety in the workplace, there's an aspect that is overlooked. You know, in health and safety, process safety management system, there is, in every workplace, there are hazards, right? We want to manage these hazards in the workplace. So I see identify hazards in the workplace. The next thing I buy PPEs for people. Okay, with this PPE, you'll be safe, and this hazard will not have any harm on you. But that's fine. I applaud that commitment. It's really nice. Let's tell ourselves the truth. But the truth is that before you go down to PPE, in the hierarchy of control of any hazards, you must look at elimination. Can I eliminate these hazards? If these articles and substance is posing harm to people, and I buy them nose masks to use, okay, nose mask is fine. I buy them chemical clothing, but is it the right kind of nose mask? You've provided PPE, but can we eliminate it? Can we stop using it? Or can we say, okay, this one is more concentrated. Let's substitute it with something, and that's where substitution comes in. Or let's have engineering control. When people are opening this chemical, we can put a barricade. We can build a barricade. People are not really directly exposed to this chemical. We can have a scoop, so that just put their hands, scoop the chemical, and dose it in another container, while not directly exposed to it. So the engineering control can be in place. And then the administrative control, which has to be training, using the safety data sheet to train people. Then before providing the PPE, so people just go ahead and provide PPE. But all these controls are not put in place before we provide the PPE. So what will the PPE do? This thing can be substituted. These articles and substance can be substituted, or we can use engineering control. We can do training. And that training will tell you what PPE to use. I've also been opportune to investigate an incident where white vinegar containing 80% acid spilled in a factory floor from the top floor, first floor, to the ground floor. And when it spilled on the top floor, it leaked, corroded the concrete, and came to the ground floor. And I was asked among the team, let's go and investigate this incident. I arrived at the scene. I could not enter the factory because the place was so concentrated and choked. This is what was lying in an IBC container on the first floor. There was no burn wall. There was no receptacle to contain in case of spillage. Immediately I asked for the safety data sheet. It took 3 days for them to call the manufacturer and bring the safety data sheet. And I said, without the safety data sheet, I will not enter that place. And lo and behold, when the safety data sheet arrived from the manufacturer, and one of the controls that if there is a spill, what you need to be able to enter and clean up this spill is a self-contained breathing apparatus. Self-contained breathing apparatus. What I mean by what these firemen use when they are entering into a building that is filled with smoke to rescue, that has the cylinder. That's what they use. The self-contained breathing apparatus was what. But I tell you, people went in there after they have vented it after some days to clean up using a full face mask or half face mask with cartridge. And I said, no, I can't, I will never enter into that place. So this is what happens in the workplaces that people do not know. The safety data sheet is important, and that's where administrative control comes in. If you follow the hierarchy of control before you provide PPE, it will save a lot of lives. But people do not they overlook this aspect of health and safety in their workplaces because they feel that providing PPE solves the problem. But no, before you get to PPE, there are other things you need to do, and people don't do it. They don't even bring it to the attention of management. So please, let's give attention to the hierarchy of control and see what learnings we can pick from this before we get down to providing PPEs for people and thinking that's the right thing to do. So companies need to ensure procedures are effectively communicated and understood by all. I recommend daily toolbox meetings. Weekly, daily if possible, weekly toolbox talk is important. Training, bulletins, monthly bulletins. Factory tours. Go through your workplaces, tour the workplaces on a daily basis. Look at the hazard these people are exposed to. Talk to them. Talk to the guys on the floor and find out what their problems are. Their problems are monumented. They can be from their supervisor. Let me understand that management have their backup, their backing, and they should open up. Many of them don't because they have the intimidation from their supervisors and team leaders. So they will not talk. They'll just keep quiet and continue to face these hazards they are exposed to. I tell you, I had an opportunity also to talk to people, about the equipment they use. Now, the manufacturer has brought this equipment and told you guys, this equipment is how it is. You need to be covered when you're operating it, but people will feel they need to open it so that if there is the equipment stop, they can quickly put their hands into the equipment, even while it's still running, to adjust what they need to adjust and continue production process. And people's finger keep being amputated, and they keep doing the same thing. But if management are not going into the factory floor, how will they identify that these are the problems they are having? So they need to identify this problem by taking a daily tour, speaking to the guys on the floor, finding out what their problems are, and seeing how they can address these problems for them. Yes, like I said, the procedures in the workplace, first of all, if it's a process environment, also let the hazard operability studies be conducted for every process environment. If you don't conduct a hazard operability studies, you're just telling people that let's do a reactive management of hazards in the workplace, not proactive. So the proactive one is the hazard operability studies, hazard. So it brings the hazard to bear. You see the hazards, know the hazards, identify them, and then see how you can work to controlling them. So when people even step into the workplaces, they are being trained. When you're going to work, these are the hazards, these are the things you need to do in order not to be exposed to these hazards. And people would work in a... So we ask, how are the oil and gas environments, guys in the offshore, how are they surviving critical operation? But they can be there for 100 years, 50 years, and many years you will not hear of any incident. Yes, because they are sure that their systems and continual improvements are being communicated effectively to everyone. So our workplaces should not be looked at, it's a small scale business, it's a medium scale business. What we do as a small scale business, when we become a medium and large scale, is the same practice will carry on if we are not starting it from the scratch to do the right thing. So that should be our call, to do the right thing. So one thing I want to say before we leave this meeting is this: resistance and complacencies would always be among employees regarding health and safety protocols. It's something that you should be expecting. These are people management you're talking about. Personnel management, you have left your process systems for them to manage. But I tell you, how can we overcome this? Plan, do, check, act. The Deming cycle is what will keep the system running. If management are committed to plan, do, check, act, whoever comes into that workplace will know that there is a plan in place. We have planned this system. This is what we are doing. And management is continually monitoring to see that this system is running the way it has been designed to run. And we'll have to go back the cycle, acting the same way. So the Deming cycle continues throughout the life cycle of that system. So yes, that is the only way you can address resistance and complacency among employees regarding safety protocols in the workplace. So as they step into your workplace, their induction will tell them that we have a plan, do, check, act. Yes, these are the safety systems. But if the induction does not address those things, they will go into the workplace thinking that they are the superheroes coming to change things. And coming to change things, they are introducing their attitude and behaviors they have brought from another company. And that's, before you know, different systems, different procedures are coming in from all nooks and crannies of the workplaces, and you cannot manage. You don't even know where to tackle. So please, let's not focus on the complacency. Let the complacency of people, of employees, not damage, or the resistance of people not damage the plan, do, check, act procedure. And this plan, do, check, act, it's from the ISO 45001 2018. Like I said, if you're not doing it perfectly, let it mirror what we do in our safety management system. This is what we need for our system to survive. So we've come this far, and I would appreciate if we have some contributions or some thoughts we want to share. We would appreciate questions so that we can have a brief discussion before our time elapse for this section. Yeah. Okay. Nice to have you back after the short break. At this point, we would thank you all for attending this session, and we want to call it a day at this point. But note the discussion for today was workplace health and safety. Workplace health and safety. Go back and reflect on what we've discussed today and see how you can contribute to and promote a good health and safety workplace. We appreciate you do this, and we are thanking you for being in our program today. Do have a successful and safe week. Thank you.